Every limbo boy and girl all around the limbo world gonna do the limbo rock all over.
Hard to come up with a good intro for that. Hi, Zizaran here with another video for Ultimatum, and this video is going to be about Lowlife. There's a way to do Lowlife on life now, and I think it's very confusing for a lot of people. A lot of people don't really get how it works. So I wanted to make a quick video talking a little bit about just Lowlife and the new mechanics in general. So if we go in-game here, you can see that I have my Scion that is a Sanguinate Scion, and I decided, let's try Lowlife Life. Currently, I only have Vitality reserved on my life, and that's using the new, where is it? Arrogance support, which adds a cost and restoration multiplier. And if it's low level, I think it's like 220 or something. Either way, it gets cheaper the higher you level it. So you can reserve more with a higher one. Anyway, so currently I'm reserving Vitality, which is costing 403 life. If Arrogance wasn't there, it would cost like 200 mana. Normally, I'm reserving Herald of Purity, but this doesn't make me low life. I have a Lori's Lantern, and you can see here, damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky while you're on low life, and chaos resistance while on low life. But I'm not low life right now. Does that mean I should reserve more? Should I level up my Vitality more? Absolutely not. And the reason for that is actually because of Petrified Blood. Petrified Blood will actually force you to stay at 50% once you reach it. So even if I remove the aura, it'll never regen above that unless I force it with a life flask. And this is really, really good because this means that you don't have to play around with, and actually shouldn't play around with, getting exactly 50% from restoration. There's a couple of things I'm getting on this character for low life. I'm getting Pain Attunement, which is 30% more spell damage for my Sanguinate. I am able to wear Lori's Lantern, and I'm able to reserve an additional aura. So even if I wasn't reserving life, it would never go above exactly half. And this is really important because when you are a low life, you never want to reserve more than 49.9%. It's very, very important that you can get yourself higher with a flask than you can by leech and regen. And why? Why does that matter? Well, we're actually getting Slayer Overleech. And let me explain how that works. That's something that the Slayer has, and we can open up Path of Building here. Life leech effects are not removed at full life, because that's how it normally works. Whenever you hit full life, life leech effects are removed. What does that mean? It means that if I'm hitting monsters, right? Let's say I'm 50% HP and I'm hitting monsters, I'm leeching from them. However, when I'm full life, my entire life pool is capped, then that stops leeching. And if I take damage, I'm not leeching still. I have to start hitting something again to continue leeching. But if you never hit full life, or if you have Slayer or a Soul Tether, that is not true anymore. Then those leech stacks will keep building up as if I was never full life. I will always be leeching as long as I'm hitting something. And they will last a few seconds after as well. So whenever I am like this now, you can see that it's using a little bit of life and it's regenning it. Because I am running Vitality and I have 500 life regen. And I have Surging Vitality, so sometimes it goes up to 1000. But it never naturally regens past the half-life. And why is this so important? If I had reserved a little bit more, it would not give me Slayer Overleech, because then it would fill up completely. There's actually a tiny sliver here, which is basically open. There's like a tiny gap here. It's just so small because it's only 15 life, so you can't see it. But it is there. And that means that Petrified Blood is just always keeping me from hitting above low life. And it's the first line. Life recovery other than flasks cannot recover life to above low life. And this is so incredibly strong because that is something we want on a lot of builds. People go Slayer just for that. This is obviously really good for a lot of the champion builds. People use Soul Tether just for that. Soul Tether did get nerfed, but it still provides that life leech effect. So people that didn't normally use Soul Tether for like a ES buffer, it's still incredibly strong. It wasn't really nerfed in that regard. It just gives you barely any ES leech. And that doesn't really matter. Now that we understand a little bit more that Slayer leech is good or Overleech is good, right? That's great. And again, just don't reserve 50% or more of your life and you will have leech. But you still need to have leech somewhere. I'm currently getting leech from my belt. You can get it from Amida and you can get it from boots, which I also have it on, but I don't use my boots. But there's something else as well. Now I have 3,088 life. Says, how are you surviving doing tier 16s and farming hard bosses with 3,000 life? What's your secret? Well, let's explain how that works. So you're not actually on 3,088 life. If I look at Petrified Blood right now, I actually have the anomalous version. And I'd say this one is sort of safer for hardcore, especially against one-shots, which is obviously a large portion of what takes me out. When taking damage from hits, 51% of life loss below half-life is prevented. Then 213% of life loss prevented this way is lost over 4 seconds. So that means, for the purpose of literal hits or one-shots, I have like 6,200 or 6,300 life. So if I take like 6,000 damage, my health pool will coagulate, basically. It'll turn like darkish red. And if you see in that clip, I don't actually take a lot of damage. I take maybe a 20% hit. But if I took a 6,000 hit, my entire bar would be like darkened out and I would actually go fairly low, but I wouldn't get one shot because the other like 3k, I would take that over 4 seconds slowly. So that's more like a degen. So I can actually take some chunky hits and obviously I do have mitigation. This build is basically block capped. With a Rumi sup, I have 78, 30, 73, and even without a Rumi sup, I have 75, 64. So, and I can add a Tempest Shield to get 78, 67. So I'm basically spell blocked. I don't even need to rely on my Rumis that much. But then I also have a Quartz for more dodge. I have a Jade Flask for more evasion. So I'm basically immortal to things like porcupines. I don't really have a large amount of armor other than that. But I have some decent mitigation. I also have life on block, which is very, very strong for this. Because the recover 5% of life, this isn't going to give me 5% of 3,000. It's going to give me 5% of 6,000. So for a low life build, getting flat life on block and percentage life on block is a lot better. And I'm not 100% sure how it works on stuns, but I should get stunned less than normal too, because it's a smaller pool of my life, right? I'm only taking 50% of the actual hit, and the other 50% is being taken over time. I also have, which is extra good, damage of enemies hitting you is unlucky while you're on low life. So let's say that especially a lightning monster, if that was going to hit me for either 3,000 damage or 10,000 damage, it'll roll it twice, and it'll take the lower hit. This is really good for enemies that have like a very wide range, and several enemies do, especially when it comes to lightning damage. So that means that I will always take the lower hit, and that means that if it rolls twice, it's just generally going to be pretty low. It also gives me 25% chaos res when on low life, plus a bunch of resistance and some movement speed. So it's a really, really nice ring. And also it can be a little bit weird with light radius on this build when you're in like caves or anything like that. Another thing that's very popular, Durestu's Courage. This is like a very easy way to spell block. You get a lot of attack and spell block, and also 30% spell block while on low life. Obviously, I don't want to use this because I really do want the life on block. It's very strong. 100% want that. But I just wanted to make a quick video explaining a little bit about the benefits and stuff. It's very scary to play. As you saw in the clip, it feels like you're dying. I've actually never gotten close to dying on this build, but I feel like I will just at some point just get one shot by something. I feel like if I can get up to 7,000 or 8,000 actual life so that I have like, 4k left, that would make me very, very tanky, and I would have a hard time dying. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it managed to explain how low life works and why we're doing it, and some tips, and especially the Slayer Overleach part is sort of easily overlooked. So again, make sure you never reserve more than 50% life. You'll lose the Slayer Overleach, because then you will be full life. Either way, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for watching. Try to die less than I do.